Welcome to another amazing episode of Hanging with the Chads. I'm Chad Springer, joined as always by the greatest tag team partner ever, Mr. Chad Boudreaux. How the hell are you doing?
Man, I'm good, man. It's been fun a couple of days watching some March Madness. Uh, tragic news and then some tragic news that hit all of us. But then, yeah, man, it's been overall good for a couple of days. Good spring break.
Yep, enjoying spring break the best we can, playing MLB The Show and, leading my Diamond Dynasty team to the championship. Not really, but we are. We got a great show today. It's going to be very interesting. Obviously, we're going to start off with a little sad news today. If you've been living under a rock, well, our protector is no longer with us. Mr. Chuck Norris, the late great Chuck Norris, has passed away. You know, he is a man who turned legend into mythology. That's the best way I can say it. And honestly, the only way we can honor him today is with the greatest Chuck Norris fact we can find. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm down. Let's go.
So I found some Chuck Norris facts here, and as always, this is Chuck Norris facts. It's pretty interesting. So here we go. Chuck Norris doesn't wear a watch. He decides what time it is. So it's always a good one, right?
Yeah.
Chuck Norris cannot turn left because he is always right. And feel free to chime in at any time if you have your favorite.
Chuck Norris doesn't do push-ups. He pushes the earth down.
He what?
He pushes the earth down.
If rock beats scissors, scissors beats paper, and paper beats rock, what beats all three at the same time?
Chuck Norris. He can divide by zero.
He can, and he can count to infinity twice.
Yep.
Let's see. Chuck Norris doesn't own a stove, oven, or microwave because revenge is a dish best served cold. That
on the same plane when Chuck Norris cuts onions, the onions cry.
That's a good one. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about Chuck Norris today. R.I.P. to the late great Chuck Norris, who tragically passed away. I mean, do we really want to say tragically passed away? But I mean, he was 86, but he was supposed to live forever. So, I mean, let's be real. There's few people in this world who gets the title of honorary Marine. Chuck Norris, he was in the Air Force and became an honorary Marine. That should attest to his badassness right there. I mean, Chuck Norris is one of a kind. I mean, again, I'm just giving out some of my favorite Chuck Norris facts. Chuck Norris's calendar goes straight from March 31st to April 2nd. No one fools Chuck Norris. That's a great one. Any thoughts on Chuck and how are you feeling about that?
No, I mean, he was one of a kind. There's a reason why there's all the jokes there because he was a badass dude. Yeah. Again, the fight scene between him and Bruce Lee at Enter the Dragon, hands down, probably the best martial arts fight scene in a movie ever. Especially when Bruce takes his freaking chest hair and just blows it away. Those two, they defined a whole generation of what it meant to be a real badass in the world. Prayers to his family. I know he's up there probably kicking ass doing what he does. So, and I have an autograph somewhere. I have an autograph picture of Chuck Norris when he was the Grand Marshal of the Endymion Parade that my grandma got for me. So it'll be coming out soon, and I'll put it right up there with the rest of the stuff behind me.
Yeah. I mean, Chuck Norris, they say that fight scene with him and Bruce Lee was one of the best choreography fight scenes there are. Uh, Only few men can go toe to toe with the great Bruce Lee, which is what it is. Hey, here goes one. Legends live forever. Chuck Norris lives longer.
Yeah.
Uh, Chuck Norris caught COVID-19. Now the virus has to quarantine. And in honor of today, Chuck Norris didn't die. Death finally had the courage to meet him. Um, so, Chuck, wherever you are, I'm sure you're guarding the pearly gates with the Marines, or you finally gave us a much needed break. Uh, I just hope the aliens out there in outer space don't think they can still come and try and, kick Earth's ass because you're not here, because that ain't true. But Chuck Norris, salute. Until we see you again, my friend. So, go from one tragic weekend news to another tragic weekend news. I don't know about you, but my bracket's already busted. Thanks a lot, UNC. That's why we hate you. March Madness is underway. We don't have our Cinderella McNeese State, and it doesn't even look like our guy at NC State even made it this year. But I can tell you right now, there are some interesting games so far. It was, VCU upsetting Carolina. High Point, they upset Wisconsin, was it, that they beat? I'm trying to find that exact score of who that was. But yeah, it's been a interesting start to March Madness. What are your thoughts so far?
It's been a typical March Madness. I mean, there was, again, you had the High Point game, which is your typical. You have at least one 12 beating a 5, and that's what
Mm-hmm.
happened at High Point. The score was 83-82. I just looked it up. Um,
Yep.
but the rest of it, I mean, it's kind of going the way it should be going. Not major upsets. Couple of them are questionable, but I mean, where we are right now, you only have one, two, three, four teams that are in the 10 or below that made it to the round of 32. And last night, you already lost Texas A&M, which that's not a big upset for A&M to make it. They do play in the SEC. They do play in hard games. And in 11, VCU lost out to Illinois. So it's not like you're sitting there going, the teams that shouldn't be there are there. Um, Again, though, the only one that's Texas, but again, it's another SEC team that made it on to the round of 16. So I don't think it's really that big of a upset laden like we've seen in the past. Um, I still think it's going to be. I honestly think it's going to be Duke that wins it all.
I
Um,
think it's the Duke boys as well.
but again, Florida's tough to see what Florida's going to do. They've been there before. They won it last year, so could they repeat? I don't know. So, but yeah, I don't think it's nothing shocking going on right now in the tournament, but it could all of a sudden change. So things can flip on its head. And I mean, like I said, you got Texas that made it through to the Sweet 16 and they were 11 seed. So they had to play in to get into the tournament and they're in the Sweet 16. So there's your Cinderella, which I really don't consider that to be a Cinderella because they play in the SEC. They're a major college. It's not like it's some mid major that made it through. So.
SEC basketball, buddy. Who would have thought? Again, I think we might have mentioned this last year. Who would have thought we'd be saying SEC basketball? I mean, we thought SEC was a football school. Imagine the SEC. If they was to win like the football national championship, both win men and women's basketball national championships, and baseball and softball national championships.
Well, they'll
Imagine
win.
just the
They have a shot with basketball, both of them, baseball, softball. Football, they got to catch up with the Big Ten now.
yo. Indiana.
Ten,
Shout out Coach Kirk.
I mean, Indiana, Ohio State, and Michigan. I mean, what are you gonna do, man? Like they need to step up, or they're just gonna keep losing that one. The one thing they claim that they know everything.
Hey, St. John's, Kansas today, 5:15 p.m. That's going to be a game today, buddy.
Yeah.
UCLA and UConn, Florida and Iowa. Florida demolished Prairie View, but if they didn't think that wasn't going to happen, yeah, there's some good ones. Virginia and Tennessee today. Alabama and Texas Tech. I mean, there's no real like. After High Point got beat yesterday, I mean they gave Arkansas a run for the money. They only lost by 6. I mean, there's no real like. Obviously, the Texas Gonzaga game when Texas upset Gonzaga. I mean, it's getting real interesting on that one. But hey, March Madness is underway. We got baseball starting this week, man. It's a good week other than going back to work. But I mean, it is what it is. I tell everybody this is our 2-month sprint starting Monday.
Yep.
You got 61 days left. And I'm not talking about Monday through Friday. I'm talking about days left. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's a full-fledged sprint now. Let's just get ready for it, you know. So the topic of today's conversation, honestly, is real simple. I don't know about you. I got a lot of friends that are texting me from other states talking about coaches being paid more here in Florida. Have you heard about that? Yep. Shout out to the FCC, the Florida Coaches Coalition. Years of hard work has put into this new law that has been passed, House bill. Won't officially be a law until July the 1st. Let's get that straight. But House Bill 731, which basically is, for layman's terms, for nobody that knows what it is, it's increase and how coaches get paid. So shout out to them, because we all know that in this profession we are highly, highly underpaid. And ladies and gentlemen, before we continue, these are our opinions and interpretations. Okay, do we agree? Our opinions, our interpretation. Don't come emailing me, hanging with the chads at iCloud.com. Don't be shouting me out on Twitter, Instagram, none of that. This is what we interpret the law to be. These are positives and things that we might want to look into in the future. Now, I am all for coach being paid. Don't get it twisted. You want to pay me? Hey, look, I've already had this conversation. You want to pay me $25,000 to go coach football again? Hey, I might sign myself up real quick. I just love being an athletic director. Let's just be very clear about that. But now, coaches deserve to be paid fairly. Florida talks about how good we are. We have some great teams. However, athletics sometimes is down on the lower end of the levels, as opposed to some of our neighbors out there in, Texas, Georgia, Alabama, hell, Louisiana, probably. You can contest that. I know North Carolina is not on that. I can tell you that right now. But you talk about in the state of Texas, there's like 15 coaches making over $100,000 a year. And 92% of their job is to coach football. The other 8% is they're either an athletic director or a one-class PE teacher. That's why they have these massive facilities. I mean, they care. Is this the trend that Florida is going to? Because if that's the case, I mean, you're going to have to look at it, man. I think the reason places like Texas is successful when it comes to that is every city is an independent school district, almost. Yep. The ones I've seen. The ones I've seen. You go to the Metroplex in Dallas, you're McKinley, Independent School District, Allen, Independent School District, Greenville, Independent School District, Rockwall, Independent School District. I mean, I didn't even say Plano, Arlington, or any of them. This is the outside of Dallas in the Metroplex. So, like, think about it. Like, I think this is a great law that has been passed. There's a lot of intangibles that goes along with it. Uh, Shout out our friend Teddy Bridgewater because he's involved in this too. Because it's a brother sister law with the Teddy Bridgewater Act, which is great to do. I mean, great to be. Uh, Again, I think it is beneficial to coaches, but it's also we get to benefit our kids even more. But what are some of the setbacks that we could encounter? That's the things we're going to discuss. And I mean, if people are going to like our opinion or they're not. I mean, we can get yelled at, we can get trashed about it, but good thing is we got what is that called? The First Amendment, right? Freedom of speech. So thank God for that. All right, so let's break it down real quick, Mr. Boudreaux. House Bill 731, interscholastic extracurricular activities.
Yeah, so basically, it first of all it goes for everything extracurricular. Don't get anything twisted here. It's not just we're talking about our expertise, which is athletics, but it goes involved with everything that happens after school or extracurricular. So it's there to help us compete with Georgia. Let's be honest about it because we're losing a lot of coaches to Georgia because Georgia's already had this in place. And the big part when we talk about coaches being paid, it's literally for not saying that the district is paying the coaches more because that has nothing to do with it. The district sets how much they're going to pay regardless. They can pay more, they can pay less. It's up to them. This is giving the opportunity now for the booster clubs to pay coaches. So that's what's always happened in Georgia. I know it's always happened in Texas. I mean, there was always a running joke we had that if you became the head coach at a big major school in Georgia, not only is you're going to get probably $100,000 salary, you also going to show up. There's going to be a brand new truck and a brand new house that you're rolling into that you're not paying for.
I can attest to that. I met a coach in the state of Georgia. I'm not going to tell you what place he is, but they run a wing tee clinic every year. That's all I'm going to say. And he said when he got offered the job, he had a country club house and a new truck, and part of the job was to win.
Yeah. So that's what it really is. That's when we're talking about the pay part of this whole thing. It's not that the districts are going to be paying more or less. They're still going to have to figure out what they want to do on this side of things. But now it's opening it up to the booster clubs to pay more. So, or to pay the actual coaches. So now it kind of frees up everything. But like you just said, there's going to be a caveat with it when it comes to the booster club, and that your job is to win.
Yep, that's gonna. Look, man, we're turning into Friday Night Lights. Buddy Garrity's going to decide who's going to be coaching real damn soon, buddy. But speaking of our neighbors to the north in Georgia, based on the 2024-25 season, all right? So this is a school year ago, right? So last school year, the top 5 highest paid high school football coaches based on 2024 records in the state of Georgia. I don't want to, I mean, you can Google it, but I'm just going to tell you one coach made $219,215. And I know what school that is because I see it all the time. And look, their damn facilities, yeah, they're definitely paying that dude some money. The next was $188,457. 175,706. 173,688 and 152,421. We still ain't making that money here. Even if you max out the 25 grand with a doctorate as a high school teacher, you're probably, I mean, you count them because in our county you get a mowing supplement. We don't have the maintenance mower, so you do get a mowing supplement, which can help a little bit. I mean, you could probably push that 120, but you're still working. You think these guys making $219,000 is working? He's just coaching football. Promise. I mean, I don't promise you because I don't know him. I wish him the best. And that's just in our neighbors to the north. What about our friends to the west?
Texas.
Yep.
Yeah, well, again, we're not losing coaches to Texas.
We're not losing coaches there.
So that's the reason why this came up, because we were tired of. I mean, granted, the Coaches Coalition did a phenomenal job stating what they need to state, because they also, if you think about it, we've all worked the numbers. We're by the hours that each coach is putting in and the pay that they're getting through their supplements. It's literally, we're making it like 11 cents an hour.
Yeah, literally.
So
I know we don't want to.
But it was because the athletic directors backed it, because we're losing great coaches to Georgia. We're not losing to Texas. Texas is its own beast. That's going to be out there. We may lose one or two, but
I just want to put this into perspective. How many in the FSHAA, off the top of your head, just a rough guesstimate, how many football programs are FHSAA sanctioned programs in the state of Florida? I want to say about 350 to 400.
I'd go more than that. I'd go probably 600.
Okay, we'll say 600. That play football, because not a lot of the FSHA schools play football.
Well, I know. I'm just saying, I'd say probably about I'd say around 600.
Okay, well, we'll say 600. Our neighbors to the west, across the what they call Gulf of America now, there are 240 coaches in the 5A, 6A division that make over $100,000. That's a third. We'll say a third of our coaches. But Texas is, you got to know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, and you already been there, and you was born there, and you was raised there. We get it. So we'll stick with our neighbors to the north here. Like, some of these guys are making more than the guys in Texas, but I mean, you see those facilities old Budford, Georgia got? That new stadium?
Yeah.
Who's getting the dome first? Who is going to get a stadium like Hard Rock, where it has the awning all the way around? Because some schools in like California have that just for like the shade. Like, right. Think about that, bro. Like, we still can't facility wise between our two counties here in Central Florida that represents approximately, now going into next school year, 33 schools. Wait, 32 schools, 32 high schools. Think about the facilities.
Oh, I know.
We still ain't got nothing like that.
Not even close.
Think about the schools you've been to, minus IMG and Montford in this state. Who do you think has the best facilities you've seen?
The best facility? Probably Timber Creek, to be honest with you.
They do, guys. I'm talking about like all overall athletic facilities. And you've only been to, like, is that like you haven't been to like anybody down south or anything?
Miami sucks. Like, everywhere I've been in Miami, their facilities suck. They usually use some damn park.
Have you been to Columbus?
No.
Oh. I'm sure they got nice facilities.
Well, I'm sure. But
like St. Aquinas has some nice facility. That's for dang sure.
They have to.
Yeah. Like, you got to think about it. Like, the facility base, like everybody in Texas, they have a indoor. They don't miss practice time, baby. Ultimately, like, one of my goals in life is to have an indoor one day. But we got to find out what the letter of the law is. Is it with lightning? Do you got to go to a covered area, or does it have to be fully enclosed?
Yeah.
Where's the legality in there? But just like this House bill is amazing. I mean, it helps everybody. Because yeah, you're right. 11 cents an hour is not a lot. Like, you take our salary. Yeah. You're a 10-month employee, so you're right. Hey, we might be 10-month employees, but guess what? We only get paid 10 months. We don't get paid the 11 and 12 month.
Yeah, because if you're not practicing during the summer, you're not doing anything. Like, you don't move ahead at all. Even if it's just a lift. Even if you're going in there to lift, like,
you're going in there for free.
not getting paid to do it, and then if you don't do it because you're not getting paid, your team is always going to struggle because you can go to any campus during the summer and you will see the teams that always run through everyone. They're out there and they're putting in the work, and they're not just out there for an hour or two, have practice and call it a day. No, they're going live for an hour, then they're going to hit the field for 3 hours, then they're going back and watch film to see what they did during practice to fix it for tomorrow's practice. So they're putting in 5-6 hours of work
like
every day, and they're not getting paid at all for it.
Like I like it. So like coming down to Florida was a little bit of a culture shock compared to being in North Carolina in terms of pay and supplements and things like that. I mean, my last supplement in North Carolina for coaching football was like $1,200. Like it wasn't a lot. And like, you know, I was only paid in North Carolina at the school district I worked at only once. So like you got your supplement like the end of the season. So you're going the whole off season through the whole season before you even get paid, you know. Coming down here, you know, some counties pay you every single other paycheck, you know, like every paycheck, you know, every 2 weeks they pay you your supplement. Some pay you like once, twice a season. Like it's crazy seeing like that type of money come around. But now these guys, they're gonna, and girls, they might see like year-round pay, and like the boosters being able to help. Like, how does that stay regulated? That's the ultimate question. Like, because that, you know, this is the case of the haves and have-nots right now, man. Not every school has a booster club that can go out and get this money. But again,
it has a booster that can pay that kind of money.
Maybe. I can think of 2 schools right now within a 30-mile radius of where I live that don't.
Yeah.
You know, I can think of 20 schools in a 50-mile radius that don't. You know, like at the end of the day, how is that going to be regulated? Because some people require the boosters to be funneled through the internal accounts. Some people allow boosters to be 501(c)s. Like the ultimate question is, how much power is a booster club going to have?
Yeah, that's where the question really lies. It's like, yes, this booster's paying for this coach, and he might, as an athletic director, you're looking to see it, because again, we as athletic directors, yes, we want to win, but we also have to remember it's school-based athletics. So it's not always about the win-loss record. But is the booster that's paying this coach all about the win-loss record? And you as an athletic director, you're sitting back going, but our team was 1-10 or 1-9 last year. Now we're 4-6, but we actually competed in every game and we had no running clocks. So now should I get rid of my coach because he came in and changed things, and now we're improving, but you want us to win a state title because you're paying him an extra 10 grand. Like, where is that coming from? Like, what are we supposed to do as athletic directors in that situation?
I got a question for you on that one. You know, okay, cool. Say you do that. You hire, I just say, for instance, school A, right? We're co-ADs at a school, right? And we have a booster club that supports us, and we have to hire a brand new football coach. And the booster's like, hey, you know, obviously we can pay him 25 grand on top of his supplement, you know, which you give him 5 grand for the supplement, right? So he's going to make 30 grand as our football coach. All right, cool. You got a coach coming in thinking he's going to make an extra 30 grand. He goes 0-10, and the booster's like, oh, we're not paying him next year.
Right.
You see, you see what we're getting to now. Like,
yeah, like is it like contracts that we have to get brought up? Hey, is it going to district for this to happen?
Hey, Boudreaux, you're the head football coach. I'm the AD. Hey, come on in, Boudreaux. Have a seat. Hey, I mean, tough year this year. I mean, you know, we didn't get run a clock. We competed. We had 10 1-loss games. You know, we just got to get better next year on how to get it. However, the booster's not paying you 25 grand next year. So you're only going to get your $5,000 supplement and your teaching salary. How are you going to feel?
I'm looking for another job, man.
Yo, like
I'm out.
Like think about it, and then I think about this. And a lot of people don't agree with this knowledge. Okay, Boudreaux, you're a boys basketball coach, and I'm a girls basketball coach. Booster Club sums up. It says they're going to pay you an extra $5,000 on top of your supplement, and they don't offer me anything.
Yeah,
I know people say it's not, but I think it's gonna be. I think it's going to be an equitable Title IX conversation.
It could. We talked about this earlier, and I didn't think it would, but it is.
Because you got to think about it. Our supplements are voted on by the union and contract agreements. Okay, supplements aren't guaranteed year to year. I'm talking about this year. Just think about it from an equitable standpoint. If you're a baseball coach and I'm a softball coach, you can't hang up a scoreboard with 9 innings across it unless I get one too.
Well, that's different. That falls under something different.
That falls under facilities. Yes, we get it. But how's them coaches going to feel?
It's not going to. It won't fall. It will fall under a Title IX issue only because if they're doing the same work, you can't go and pay this coach.
Hey, we both start October the 24th. We're both running off-season conditioning.
Here's the argument. If we're doing the same work, yet you don't even get out of the first round of districts, and I make it to the state championship, I just put in an extra month of work than you did. That's where the argument's going to come in.
While you was working there, I was already doing my conditioning, get ready. We Michael Jordan it, bro, after getting beat by the Magic.
I get it. I get that. I'm saying though, that's the argument that both sides can lay out. That's where the argument can come in. If they're doing the same work and they're getting both thrown out the tournament, or they make it all the way to state championship at the same time, yes, they need to get the same pay. But if you lose out in the first round, I mean, this is the argument. This is not coming from. This is not Chad Boudreaux's thought.
I think it is.
This is the argument. This is devil's advocate here. If you lose out in the first round of district and I make it to the state championship, I just put in an extra month of work.
Yeah,
you did.
But
so I should get paid more.
Wait. In some school districts, you do get paid more for that, young man.
It's true. Yes,
you make it to regional and state championships. Some districts out there pay you for that. So,
but again, it's also like 11 cents, so it doesn't matter.
We'll agree
but
to just.
I'm just saying that's where the argument lies in this whole thing. I agree. Both coaches, they're both doing the same work. They both come in every day. At minimum, they're putting in 2 hours a day of coaching, plus they go to games, which is an extra 4 to 6 hours, depending upon where the game is and how long the game lasts every day. So I agree they should be getting the same. They should get it. It should be a Title IX issue. But I'm saying devil's advocate side of things is if you're losing out and they're putting in an extra month of work, then talking about equity and equality and all that, that's not equal work there. So that's where things could get hairy, and that's where it could go the way you see it in college, where some of these coaches are getting your big name coaches that are always in March Madness and the Final Four, or always going to the football playoff and all that stuff. They're getting these ridiculous contracts, and then you look at the rest of the coaches at that same school, and they're not getting that. But that's the argument that it could be laid out.
All right, here's another argument for you, Mr. Boudreaux. Say your administration. I'm not saying like you and your school. I'm just saying like in general. Say y'all have a booster club, right? Your admin and booster meets, and your booster's like, you know what? Hey, we got $100,000. We're going to give you to pay your coaches. Budget it however you see fit, right? So you're hiring and making coaches based on that. August 1st comes around. Oh, hey, we don't have that money. So you hired all these coaches, telling them they're about to get money. How's that going to play? Like, just think about that. Like, it's like, these are the things that people need to think about. Yeah, but how can we sign contracts with a 501c outside source, it's going to have to get funneled through the school district. Because remember, schools cannot sign contracts. They can sign agreements. The school district can only sign contracts. So is this something where every booster club is going to have to go to the school district and be under not like an umbrella, but regulation?
Or is it going to be where we, as the schools in the school district, doesn't sign the contract, but the individual coach signs the contract with the booster?
But you're still paying on behalf of the school's athletic boosters, though. Yes, we know boosters are supposed to be separate, but some schools make the boosters go through them. Like, I think this is going to get real interesting. It's going to be a point where somebody ain't going to get paid.
Well, here's the thing: is the FHSA going to come to us and like the district come to us like they did with NIL? Be like, hands off. Just say you have nothing to do with it. Here's the paperwork. Go figure it out. Is it going to be like that?
GA1 form, baby.
Yeah, I was saying, is it going to be like that?
Yeah, but how can you do that if that coach is actually representing you, the school district, and the FSHA? You can't be hands off in that.
There's so much that goes into this that we just don't know.
Bro, like, this is what I think happened. Because, last year, to my knowledge, that I talked about and read about. Last year, when I say last year, let's say a year ago, the state was paying all this money, but they was just paying the difference, right? So if your school district only paid $5,000 for a football coach, the state was paying the.
And it was all based off the time. How much time you had to do, like time sheets.
Yep, it was tiered and all that.
Yeah,
and so like the max you could have got was $25,000 as a football coach. Basketball would have been like 18.5. Baseball would have been 18.5. Soccer the big tier programs would have been up there. Now like golf would have been like 7.5 each. But I mean, shit, that's $15,000 to coach golf. I'd do that. Right. Sign me up. But like I think when the state realized how much money it was, they're like, oh, wait a minute. Hey, school boosters? Yeah, y'all do that. We just gonna say you can do it.
Because that's what they do in Georgia. It's the school district's not paying it, the boosters are paying it.
Yeah, but you gotta understand though, in Georgia, a lot of the time these one school towns are the district. Right. Yeah, but like that. If you want to do that, then shit, we're gonna have 34 school districts in the next 2 counties. The World Tribe School District, baby, y'all will get a lot of money.
Right. But no, I mean that's the reason why they did it that way. Is that they looked at it and said that's a shitload of money that we got to come up with that we don't have already. And then number 2, it was we're just trying to compete with Georgia. This is how Georgia does it. Let's do it this way.
We don't want to pay you guys. We want you to think that, but we're going to get somebody that will. And now there's a lot more to this bill than just the pay, which the pay is probably
the headline
80%. But there's a lot of other things to this bill, like, athletic transfers, standardized eligibility and compliance. So like transfers, like they're talking about part of this bill is like there's a cap on participation fees, and like non-traditional kids have to pay a participation fee per sport. Like that's pretty interesting, because what they're trying to do is like lock down the whole recruiting thing. So like from what I've learned is there's no more like good calls. Like the state is going to do good calls now, and it's a 14-day wait. So imagine that kid that gets mad at his coach because he didn't make the JV basketball team and leaves, wants to go to another school and play because that's where his AAU coach is. Hey, you're waiting 14 business. I didn't say days, Monday through Sunday, business days. We're talking 3 weeks, dude.
Yep.
Do you know how quickly they're not going to want to transfer, which is great. Less paperwork we have to do. And it all goes to the state, which is even better. But the transfers might be knocked down a little bit, which is definitely one thing I want to get under control.
Yeah.
Because kids are just, dude, the transfer portal is real. Just go look at Twitter, bro. What is it? Central Florida News or some shit like that for the athletics or whatever. It's like their Twitter page is nothing but transfers every day. And like these kids are tagging the coaches already, and they ain't even legally in the school yet.
But there was one I was showing. We were doing some kind of whole staff meeting on Wednesday, and there was one I was just looking at Twitter, and the kid was U9, and he was in the county I work in, and I was like,
I see that.
This is where we're at now. It's U9, and everybody's like, it's a joke. I'm like, it is not a joke. This is for real.
That kid has a legit graphic made by Graphic God. Okay, it's real.
I was like, this is the world we're living now. Like a U9 kid, a kid 8 years old turning 9, is now looking for a coach that's gonna build him better. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? But yeah, he's transferring out of his beloved Pee Wee football team, looking for another one. Like the transfer portal is just out of control. It's insane the amount of things that happen.
Luckily, it cleans up eligibility requirements. Thank God. Hopefully, they just say, hey, you can. I wish it would go back to home zone only.
Yeah,
that's what I wish it would. I'm okay with it being the county, but it gets kind of tricky when you got a kid that goes to school in one county because school of choice, but he wants to play in the county in which he resides in. Like, let's just go back to home zone. That's what I would love, But I mean, whatever, we're getting there. It makes more structure and oversight, especially when it comes to like these transfers. It takes a lot of the decisions out of our hands, which is great because I mean, a kid wants to transfer. Now, obviously, the good calls policy is still the big three, like the military, the adoption and court order or whatever. Like those are automatically approved. I don't think those have to go to the state. I think that's still in county. That's automatic. You just got to notify the state that they did it and be like, hey, this is boom, which is great, fine, because there's a lot of that going on. I get it. The McKinley Act, the homeless one, the McKinney Act, that's on there too. So it basically the state's trying to reduce recruiting and random transfers just to stack teams. We see it all the time, man. Like, there's athletes that transfer just for one sport, just to go back to the school they transferred from. We've all seen it. It's legit. It's real. So now let's get into the thing that affects you and I the absolute most about this. And this is just per the bill. Athletic directors and coaches can be labeled as administrative personnel. And every county is going to interpret it the way they want to interpret it. I mean, at the end of the day, we just go by what it goes. I've always wanted to be an admin anyway. We've been doing it, so might as well pay me like one, right? So I'm cool with that either way. So it's interesting. So it gives us more flexibility to build our programs that way. I mean, I know like between you and I, like we have freedoms to do things that some schools and school districts don't. That's great. Our administrators, our administration, our school districts, like they operate differently. Great. I love the hands-on approach that athletic directors get, but I also don't mind that I'm not in the classroom anymore. Right. So if you want, you're already, let's call a spade a spade. We're already treated like administrators, athletic administration, right? Cool. We're already treated like that. We know the ins and outs and everything that goes on in the school. We build great relationships with our administrators. Great. That's what ADs do. I mean, we're there more than anybody else. Right. That's why we have more keys than everybody else. That's why we have more access. I mean, so at the end of the day, it's going to be interpreted how they want. Obviously, I don't want to speak on that because it's interpreted in whatever county on how they want. So I'm just going to be quiet and say, hey, we'll just wait and see how it goes. My thing is, I just don't want, when counties and people make decisions, there needs to be research on what's going on. I get it. If you want to pay me as an admin, I should have to either be working. It's like being a dean in some school districts. In order to be a dean, you got to have your ed leadership or working on it, right?
Right.
don't just jump the gun and say you can't do it no more. That's all I'm going to request. Like, give us some grace because we didn't change this law. You know, at the very beginning, athletic director wasn't even mentioned in this law.
No, it wasn't until the end.
It wasn't until this finalized reversion. Because I mean,
And it only came out like the last month right before.
And yeah, and I think the only justification to that is how do you justify paying an AD more because they're not listed in this. I think that's how they justified. Okay, cool. You can be an admin; they can pay you admin pay. I think that's the thought behind it. I could be wrong. I've been wrong 100,000 times already before, and I'm okay with it.
It also goes. Opinion. There's a couple of reasons. Number one, like they probably looked at it and go, well, especially with the first wave when they were like, oh, we're going to give football coaches $25,000.
I was ready to leave.
And you would have lost almost every AD because every AD was like, how do I go and I can make triple the amount of money I'm making now. And all I got to do is coach 3 sports and I have no responsibilities.
Look, I had a conversation this school year with an administrator, and this administrator and I was like, what the hell's stopping me from saying, you know what? I'll go back in the classroom and teach PE, pass, ESE, something like that. 25 grand to coach football, 15 grand to coach boys weightlifting, another 15 grand for boys track and 15 grand for girls track. Do the math.
Yeah.
That's more than what I make now. And I don't even have to go in the classroom unless I want to.
Right.
Now, you and I, and about 10 other people that I can think of in the 2 counties, we have a little bit of slush fund money thanks to the first of every month with the old Veterans Affairs Administration people. Right. Other people don't get that. However, push came to shove. Hey, 25 grand to coach football, 15 grand to coach boys weightlifting. That's already 40 grand.
But so that's why they were looking at it. That's one reason. Another reason why they went the way they went is because, again, who do we compete with for everything? Guys up north. And that's how they do it up there. They're in the classroom. Their ADs are considered to be admin in most of them. So they're considered to be admin. They get admin pay. They're literally called assistant principals. So that's why I think all of it came together the way it came together. Now, how is each district going to interpret it? That's what we need to see, because I know in some situations, like I can tell you right now, if it goes one way, I'm not going to be AD anymore, just because the fact is that I don't like the way it looks like. I don't like the way it's going. I don't want to deal with all that. I deal with enough in my job that we have now. Like you said, we get free reign to run the athletic department. I have a feeling though, it's not just going to be the athletic department. They're going to throw something at you. Now, granted, if you have a great principal like we do, I think they'll leave us alone. But how long? Again, you've been around long enough to know that at one point that the freaking district might come out and be like, well, we need you to move to this school. And then you get another principal that comes in there and it's like, well, if you're going to be considered one of us, I'm going to make you do all this other stuff too.
I was speaking to when I first got to Florida, I had to go travel for a game. And I was speaking to the AP over athletics in the school district. I'm not going to name the school district, but this individual basically was me at the corner of Pleasant Hill and Point Siena, but as an AP. It's over facilities, facilitron, field trips, clubs, activities, any extracurricular, athletics, everything. I'm like, yo, I think it again is everybody's going to be interpreted their own way. I mean, if you union bargained it, I mean, as athletic administrator, that is a less generic name. Well, hey, this is only for athletics, or AP over athletics, or however they want to say it, you know, athletic administrators, whatever. As long as it's like specified. Now, get it. We deal with facilitron. I'm not really sweating facilitron. We deal with facilities already. I'm not sweating that.
Right.
I'm not going to go observe and evaluate and, you know, highly effective people, because You can't do that with coaches. It's all supplement. There's nothing guaranteed. However, does this changes make these supplements guaranteed now? Do we sign 3-year contract with coaches now because boosters are paying money? How does that change? That's the deep conversation you need to ask about. Like, again, people aren't going to agree with it, but you mentioned earlier contracts. Hey, great. I'm not going to come to, as a football coach, I'm not going to come to a school if I'm not guaranteed to make that 25 grand every year. Hey, you're going to give me a 3-year contract, fully guaranteed, because that's what a supplement is, unless obviously you state and county says you don't get that fully guaranteed money. But think about this. Think about an individual that signs that $25,000 contract and then gets a policy 36. That forfeit of pay. They're going to get their money, but is it also going to void that contract? We have to think about these things. Is this turning into where it is going to be more than 1-year contracts for people now? Like even our educational contracts. Obviously after your first year, that beginning when you get that automatic annual renewal based on reappointment time, but we don't have to really worry about that as ADs because our job is very specific. Just think about it. Is Johnny and Jill over here going to get a 2-year contract to be the girls' basketball coach?
Or is it going to be? Or is the contract going to be if you do this? Like, is it handed out as bonuses instead of handed out as pay?
That'd be a hell of a bonus at the end of the year. I'll just be honest with you.
I'm just saying, like, is it handed like so? We're going to pay you a normal supplement, but if you do this, can you get a bonus? Like, so if you go to states, and every county does it differently. But if you go to states and there's a little bonus that you go to the side, what if now that your booster's like, well, if they make it to states, we're going to give them an extra $10,000.
How are they going to pay the other coaches though, like the assistant coaches?
That's what I'm saying. Like, this thing is so much that goes involved with this. Like, we need legal to get involved with it to figure out how this works. We need to know if we need to have legal draw up contracts where it's just a basic contract, and then the boost, like we say, okay, it's going to be like how much money it is going to be, and we just fill that out as we go along. We're going to have to do it where it's already filled out. The booster signs it. We send it back to district, and legal's got to go back and look over it again. This whole pay thing is.
It's going to be interesting. Hey, think about this though. Think about this. What if a county will just be like, you know what? Hey, we're going to have one county booster club. And we're going to pay all the coaches evenly. Could that be a possibility? I mean, that's a good equitable way to do it. Now you can go get like your sponsorships and all that, but when it comes to paying coaches, think about it. I mean, if I'm a superintendent or a county AD and I know this is coming, wouldn't I want to get ahead of the game and be like, hey, I want to meet with all the booster clubs? Because if you're going to pay the coaches, maybe I'll give you a little bit of assistance in it and we can do it together. No, wouldn't work?
No, it wouldn't work. I can tell you right now, like.
So it's still going to separate the haves and have-nots.
It wouldn't work only because the fact is that there's always going to be that. I mean, just look at it now when you have your own booster club. Like, there's always that question: why is football getting $10,000 for helmets, and the soccer team over here is getting $1,000? Like, every booster,
expensive.
Well, obviously, and we know why it happens, but there's always that question, and you'll hear it all the time. Like, and I have to sit there half the time and get in front of it and go, "You are not starting a booster club for your own sport because we have a school booster club. You're not doing that." Well, I don't want my money to go to football. I want my money to go to sport. And they'll sit there and they'll show, like our booster club president, he'll sit there and show. They'll say, "Here's where the money went," and he'll show, "This is where the money came in. Here's where it's going." Blah 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 blah. But parents and people still don't want to listen to that. So now you're going to involve, for us, 9 other schools. And why is this school A getting all this money when school B over here isn't getting anything. Like, you're talking about that's going to be so much controversy involved with that
Mm-hmm.
that it's never going to happen that way. Now, I get it if you had like a school district that only has like 2 or 3 high schools, maybe you could pull it off because it's not as much. But when you're talking about your school district or my school district that's getting up there now in numbers, but
Yeah.
yours is really up there in numbers, it'll
Bro.
never, it could never ever happen because
I've never seen this many high schools in a district in my life, dog.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like that the controversy that would come with it, and it may not be nothing. Like you'll have all the books perfect. You can show everything how it all worked out. Everything works perfectly. It'll never work. That'll never work.
My hometown school district in North Carolina has 6. The school district I work for had West 5, about to be 6. Let's see. I'm trying to think about Charlotte Mecklenburg. How many schools do they have? They probably have about like 10 to 12, but 23. God dang.
I had 2. One that I went to school 2.
Bro, 23. Like, and it's the top 10 largest school district in America.
Yeah.
Like, I just threw up in my mouth. Like, now think about the shell shock that I had. Southern boy from North Carolina that only had 300 kids in his school coming to the old big city. Ooh, where the wind blew really, really fast. It was a shock, son. It was a shock. Hey, House Bill 731, July 1st. I guess we're going to get all of our answers then. And, hey, we're back like we never left, right?
Exactly.
You know, so, God, you ready to go back to work tomorrow?
No.
Me neither. I'm not ready to go back to work. I'm not even ready to end this show, but at some point we got to end the show. Hope you learned something today. Remember, everybody, this was just our own opinion, thoughts, and interpretation of the law. Maybe even use some AI to break it down for us. We don't know yet. But hey, Boudreaux, it's been a year.
Yeah.
It's been a year hanging with the Chads. Been hanging out with us for a year, and we appreciate it. How the hell are we going to end the show, Boudreaux?
Like we always do, be better.
Be better. If you get 1% better today, you'll be 1% better tomorrow. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for watching the show, and we out.